Okay, let's start with the grid layout. New file, index.html. So grid layout. We have seen the flex. Now it's time to learn the grid. So CSS3 grid layout, Mozilla doc here. Grid layout. Let's take this basic example. I have these many divs. So in a main, we have these many divs. Okay.
Grid means table or what?
Yeah, you'll get to know. It's a kind of table. Okay. Now, this is what you can say upper base element, you can say, right? For your understanding purpose, I'll write styles here only. So dot wrapper dot wrapper display grid. So we were having what? Display flex. At the time of flex layout, we have seen display flex. So here it is a display grid. So what is a grid? What is a grid? To answer this question, you need to ask one question: what is a flex? We have seen flex is unidirectional layout, either in the form of row. Elements can be arranged on the row, or elements can be arranged on the column, right? So we were calling this as a main axis. A very bookish terminology: main axis and cross axis, right? Flex was giving us this facility. Now another layout CSS3 has given you, you can have rows and columns. So this is a col1, col2, r1, r2, r3, r1, r2, r3.
Yeah.
So this is the two-dimensional. This is what? Two-dimensional. Okay. Now display grid. Now grid template columns. So this is a good thing. Grid template columns. Grid what? Template columns. So here you are saying 3 columns. So this can be written grid template columns. Here you are saying that repeat 3 columns, and each column would be having one fraction. Means presently I don't know how much is the width for the column. Fraction means what? Presently I don't know what is the width. As per the screen width, I will calculate that. And the gap between, gap say 16 pixel. Okay, gap what? 16 pixel. Now I will have this as it is, and you will get to know. We will change it. Just reformat the code. So this is a 1, means if you can say grid column 1 of 3, grid column 2 of. So let's run the project first. Instead of understanding it in this way, reveal in Finder. And let's run it. And if you see 1, 2, 2, if you see, when you say 2, 1, 1 of 3, you'll get to know. Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's give some border. Let's give some border. 2 dot wrapper, and inside dot wrapper anything is there, give the border 1px solid red and refresh it. See here, grid border.
Okay.
Now we have given the gap also 16px. Now when you say 1 upon 3 means what? The meaning of this, let's do 2 upon 3. Refresh it. Can you see here? The 1, okay. Let's remove these things. I know what is happening over here, but I want you to tell me what is happening here. Just refresh it. So we have removed, just comment this out and refresh it. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I didn't add these things. So we will add these things. Okay. Now grid, if you see here, there is a no height. Height has been taken as per the content, but we can set the height. Grid auto rows. Grid what? Auto rows 100px and auto. Here you go. Refresh it. Can you see? You have given what? Here, width to the row. Okay. Hello?
Yeah. Width or height?
Height, I'm sorry. We have given height to the row. And width is calculated automatically. 1 FR. Right? 1 FR. Now my question is that I want some uneven, or I want this 1 to be this much in the column.
Entire column.
Correct. What do you mean by that? Now if you go here, right, let's go here. Well, this is not required actually, whatever we have written, but you should know how things are happening exactly. So this is the official documentation, right? This is the official documentation you need to refer. Okay. Now this also we have used one function, repeat. So this also can be written like this. You need 3 columns, right? So you can write 1 FR, 1 FR, 1 FR. Okay. 1 FR, 1 FR, 1 FR. The min max is a function which specifies the height, and this is auto. So you go here and refresh it, right? Can you see 3 columns? So instead of now if you have 4 columns, if you have 5 columns, instead of writing this 5 times, we have one function in the CSS. You can write in this way. So this line and this line is exactly same. So output would be the same. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you see? So meaning of this line and meaning of this line is exactly same. Right?
Yes.
Now what I need to do, so I will come back to, so this little bit advanced, I will come back to this thing later on. Before that, we need to understand something. So here you can say dot 1. Now what I wanted to do, grid column start. So from where this column will start, grid column. So presently it is like this: 1 2 3. So grid column start from 1 and end this first column till 2. I want to do this thing. So here you can say grid column start. It will start from what? First line. So this line, it will start from this line. So grid column end, grid column, grid column end. So it will end on third line. Okay, refresh it. Can you see it will start first? Here is the second line. Here is the third line. Hello?
Yeah.
Grid column start on first, end on third.
It decides automatically like 3 columns.
So here you
I
have
mean,
given. So
yeah, we mentioned 3 columns, so it automatically adjusted.
correct.
Width.
So total how many lines are there? If I comment this line, if I comment this thing, total how many lines are there? 1. This is second line. This is 1, 2, 3 and the 4, right? 4 lines are there for this grid. 3 columns, there are 4 lines. First line, vertical line, second line, third line, and what? Fourth line. You getting my point? So if you say grid column start 1, end 4, it will occupy whole thing. Can you see? Now instead of writing this much again and again, you can say grid column 1/4. One and same. This is the start line. This is the end line. See, 1/3 over here. 1/2 over here. Getting my point? So earlier I have copy pasted this code. Earlier I have copy pasted which code? Just go back.
Start and end.
Yeah, this code I have copy pasted, right? So you didn't understand, you might not have understand what exactly this is. But meaning of this and meaning of this is one and same. So start line is the first start line. End column line is what you can say fourth column line. So here you can comment this out also. The way we can assign it to the grid hyphen row start first and grid row end third. Refresh it. The height have been removed. Grid row start 1, grid row start and grid row end. Oh, okay. Just make this height we need. To 1 we have given grid column start, grid column end, grid row start, grid row end. One and let's write 3. Yeah, see here 1 and 2 was the same. 1 and 3, when you say 1 2 3, right? So here it has reached to the 3. So if you say 1 and 2, so this is the first line, second line, third line, fourth line, right? So you can say 4, that column would be this much, right? So here you need to, let's say 1/2, that is the standard. It will start from first line, end on second line. So you can define the way you have defined column start and end, you can define grid start and end also. correct?
Yeah. So, why it is taking only half of the page?
Half of the page as in, because you have that much lines only, first line, second line, third line, fourth line. So when you say 1 upon 4 or grid start, row start 1, so it will take till this to this.
No, I mean, even in case of grid, suppose there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why it occupy only half of the page? I'm not talking about this row property. You said auto, right? So, I mean, it does not cover the entire page. Have you mentioned the height anywhere?
Here,
Okay.
here. So auto, if I say 2, there would be 2 rows. It will occupy in a 2 rows, right?
Mhm.
And rows needs to be auto.
So, what is that 100 pixel?
Just a minute. So here we can say 300 pixel and and min max. Just a minute. I am also confused with this now. Yeah, I have totally forgotten the function we have written min max. So when you say min max, okay, first parameter is a minimum. First parameter is a minimum size, and min max. Can you see? Min is a minimum 100 px. Max is a maximum width it can take. Auto. Minimum how much you need to have? Minimum every row would be having 100 px. Minimum. Maximum it would be auto.
So, this is minimum?
100 px is minimum now.
Okay, so whatever I'm seeing is the 100 page now.
Yeah, you can see. Okay, just go here, inspect, and to the layout, and okay, let's remove responsive. If you see, can you see here 488 by 100? Can you see 488 by 100? This guy is also 488 by 100. Can you see that? Div 3. 488 is a width, 100 is a height. Can you see here 488 by 100? So what is a 488? Is a width. And what is a 100? 100 is the height that you have given. This one. Minimum 100. Now if you make it over here 150 and refresh it, can you see minimum 488 by 150? 488 by 150. Width remains common, height would be increased. You got it or not?
Yeah, I got it. But min max will be applicable to height or width or both?
So when you say min max auto rows, right? Rows height over here. Width is decided by this column 3 FR, right? So this 488. Now if you add one more column over here 4 and refresh it, can you see the 4 columns are here? Width changed, width changed, but height remains same. Can you see that? So it's a row and column. You need to remember all the time. It's a row and column. The number of columns are decided automatically. Getting my point?
Yeah.
The thing called as number of columns is decided automatically. Any question?
So basically, column deals with the width, right?
Yes.
And rows with the height. You
Correct.
can see like that. It seems it is easy, but it is a bit confusing.
Yeah, you need to type practice it.
Mhm.
And then here you can decide in this way also. 4. So here you are changing the, can you see here?
What to change?
I just have changed. See now. A grid row 1 by 4.
Mhm.
Row start 1 end 4. See now, your grid, the first cell becomes this much. It will start on first, end on 4 by column wise. It will start on first, end on 4 row wise. Here. So these two lines can be written in this way. Grid column 1 by 4. Just a minute. Yes, what I'm saying? So these two,
Start and end you can replace.
yeah, this is equals to this, and these two is equals to this. 1, 4.
This grid row or what?
Yeah, this is grid row. Right?
Mm.
Correct? Any question?
How can you, I mean, after looking at the page, whatever you have defined, tier 1 by 4,
Mm-hmm.
so how can you decide the number of
Yeah,
I mean, columns of any?
look at this. This is the, you are saying 4, right?
Means how
This is the
can you
first
get
line. This is the first line,
Mhm.
second line, third line, fourth line. 1 by 4.
Mhm.
First line, second line, third line, fourth line. Similar, okay, let's change it 1 by 3. Refresh it. Now, first I will show you the layout by unticking this. Now, consider that here are columns in between
Mhm.
that you can see while you do here. Okay. So, first line, second line, third line 1 by 3. First line, second line, third line, fourth line 1 by 4.
Mhm.
Right?
I mean, now check this layout.
Check what?
This this layout kind.
No, 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 no. I got it what you mean to say. I clearly understand what you mean to say. So here, actually, you don't need to do this thing. Okay.
Mhm.
So here you can say there are 4 columns. You can imagine there are 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 columns. Right now, what's your question? How you can?
I mean, while designing this CSS,
Yeah, you know there are the
identify.
there are the 4 columns. So here are the 4 columns. Now you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 by 4. So this much is your first item. So similarly, while designing this, you can say this also. I want height of this to be, this is the first line, this is second line, this is third line, this is fourth line. So my cell will become this much. So you need to imagine this grid structure in front of your eyes. This grid structure, which means that whenever you write this thing, so what happens with me, let me tell you. When I write this thing, the grid mesh creates in my head. I imagine from that grid mesh what is happening over here. So by the practice only you will get this thing. And this is a bad way, I'm telling you. This is a bad way of working with the grids. The best way we are going to see on Monday or other day. This is the bad way. Too much laborial work you need to do.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking how can you calculate that?
Yeah. But sometimes whenever you have fixed things, fixed means final. Final. You can use this. Means that is never going to be.
Layout is like this should be 4 columns.
You know exactly what is there in your row and columns. This is a good idea. Right?
But sometimes there may be requirement like dynamic column.
At that time, there is a little bit different. At that time also this can work. You need to take a help of DOM in that case. And in Angular, you can do anything. Angular, again I'm telling you, Angular and CSS, it has nothing to do with each other. Angular and CSS has nothing to do with each other. The way JavaScript works in this application, in the same way Angular will work. But CSS can help you at the time of designing the systems. Whenever we are going to use Bootstrap, we are not going to work at this native level. Getting my point? Bootstrap will do all these things. A heavy lifting would be done by the Bootstrap on its own. You don't need to do anything.
So, we have to still discuss about the DOM, right?
Yeah. No, we have written some codes. Document.getElement by ID, document.query selectors. Then we created dynamic rows. You remember or not?
I remember document.get and
So what is DOM you are saying exactly?
Theoretical, I mean, how it works.
Yeah, if you remember, I have shown you a document object in the console.
Yeah.
Remember or not?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by document? Right, so we have.
You can get the HTML tags.
So here, yeah, correct. So at the time of DOM, we have discussed this. This is the DOM object, document object. You may revise the video, okay? And if you didn't understand anything, I will revise it again. Fine? But this is the DOM. It is not any fancy concept. So accessing the HTML elements in the JavaScript, there is a framework given by JS. That's the DOM. Right? You may revise it or you may ask it if you didn't understand. Okay. So here we are understanding the grid layout. Now you can have something called as justify content. You can say center, you go here, nothing will happen because it is edge to edge. Okay. Align items, let us see will it works. Center or align items and refresh it, see what is happening. Align items in. Now justify content and refresh it, nothing will happen. Just align items, remove it. And now what we will do, instead of one FR, I don't want to fix, just say 300 pixels would be the width. Okay, now can you see end is coming into the picture, or we can say 100 px. Okay, justify content 100. So here we can say height, is the concern, HTML, body, width 100 VW, height 100 VH, refresh it. Okay, now if you see justify content end, justify content center, justify content start, by default it's a start, right? Similarly you can arrange it, align items. Now items will create the trouble. Align items end. Yeah, just a minute, I will tell you. Align content end. So here if you see, this is my grid, and along with the row I can move by means of justify content. This is at the end. But if you remember align items, in flex, yeah, what it was doing, align items,
Cross axis. It works for the process.
cross axis.
So here, vertical.
Yeah, so here if you imagine what is happening, just a minute. काय जा मग, मी जाऊन येणार, जाणार मी, चालतं. नवले ब्रिज. Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay. Now align items end, here we can say start. Can you see it is going at the top of the grid? Yeah. Then I can, same thing is happening at the end. Here it is coming to the end. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. When you do center here, when you do center, it is coming to exactly at the center, right? Now let's open this grid. Let's open this grid and see what is happening, what is coming to the center. Okay, so this is the first row, second row, third row. Now okay, let's do it again. Let's do
only one is moving up.
No, just imagine this picture. Okay, just remember this picture. And I'm doing at the start and refresh it. Can you see at the start it is going here? Can you see these four cells? These four cells, it is exactly going at the top of this cell. It is exactly going at the top of this cell. It is exactly going at the top of this cell, which means that it is working in a similar fashion of the flex only. It is shifting the content in column ways. At the column, it is shifting the content. Now, if you see here again at the end, so this one will come over here, right? This one will come over here, and can you see all the elements will stick to their respective cell positions. So this one is a box. So in the first case, this hole is the box. Remember that this hole is the box, right? So that's why it is coming from here to here directly. In this column, this much is the box. So they will go to the center of the box, top of the box, and the end of the box. That's it. So when you say align items aligns flex items along with the cross axis of the current line. Okay, this is showing for the flex, but in the case of this, each cell would be considered as a box and it will move as per this position accordingly. Hello?
Yeah. So for one, what to define this scroll down? The one scroll down.
Scroll down, you said.
One class. One of third. Okay. 1, 2, 3 line. It consider that area as a.
Okay, just give background to this thing. Background color. And we can say brown. Refresh it. See here. So this would be only this much only brown, but it is occupying how much columns and the rows of the total grid, right? So this guy is occupying how, if you go to the normal position, just remove this end, right? So this guy is occupying technically this much area on the grid, and you just have marked this content. You just have marked this content to the end. See now, content to the end of the box. You getting my point? Content. So this, whatever red one is there, that is the content of this much grid cells. If you look at this, these are the grid cells, right? So this item is occupying first to the second row wise, and this item is occupying first to the fourth row wise and first to the second column wise. So this item would be occupied in this much area of the grid, and the content would be shifted in this. So whole would be considered as a one box. This whole is considered as a one box, and align items will make the position in the box. Whenever you practice, you will get to know this thing, right?
So why this size of this content?
Technically, this is the original size, right? Technically, what? This is the original size. Okay. And
means after adding these two.
No.
Align items and.
If you see, default is this stretch, and that's why it is stretched. Technically, this is stretch. That's why you see stretch in the beginning. This is not the default size. You have given the stretch. You have given the stretch. You write it or you don't write it. See here. It is stretch. And what this thing does when you do this thing, end, so content will shrink at the end of the container. So definition is like this only. When you say stretch, stretch the content in the box. It is like this: stretch the content in box. End means what? Stretch the content to the end. So how do you stretch the content to the end? Are you getting my point? How do you stretch the content to the end? Not possible. And that's why whole content comes at the end of the box here. Center means what? It comes center of the box. Start means what? It comes at the start. And when you say stretch, whole content would be stretched throughout the box. That's what the stretch is. Right? Hello?
Yeah.
You got it or not?
Yeah. Can you just remove this to justify content and alignment?
This one?
These two lines.
This tool, this also? See. Justify has same about the rows. It has nothing to do with the box. So we will see next things on the next lecture.
I think you mentioned that align atoms, right?
Yes.
So you have not mentioned align content.
Yeah.
So in that case,
No, just don't imagine about align content. We will see. It is like the flex.
the first two, align atoms and justify.
Yes. Just work. Remember these things only in the beginning. The way we have learned in the flex. In the flex also we have seen these two properties in the beginning.
Yeah. So along with the atoms, means that DO part, the content area means whatever written 1 to 3 also shifted
When
you say align atoms.
No, see here. That is the justify task. That is the task of the justify. And refresh it. See. Can you see that? Justify end means here. The whole grid will come here.
No, I'm talking about the content 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
We'll see that. About that we will see. Don't worry. So this 2 you need to take it at the end. Right?
Yeah.
We'll see that. How exactly that will happen, we will see.
So actually I'm confused now. What is the difference between align atom and align content? Sorry.
No. Align content, forget about it right now.
Okay.
Don't worry about the align content today. Just imagine that align items is taking the content, taking the content in a box. That's it.
Correct. So because of this, just like justify content is easy to understand. Justification.
Justify content.
Confusion between align atom and align content.
Yeah. In the flex also it is there.
Yeah. Yes.
In the flex also same concept is there. Now if you see justify content, whole grid has been shifted to the end.
Correct.
It is not talking about the content.
Yeah.
Right? But the box item alignment, each is the box, right? This each is the box over here. And alignment of the box, alignment of the content inside the box is given to you by align items. Now in the other
align content is doing that part.
No. In the other case, you can imagine that this box itself is a flex box. The box itself is a flex box, you can say. And inside this also we can arrange it by means of the row by means of the row and the column. That you will get to know in the next lecture when we will see align content.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so align atom, we can say the content,
Box.
box content will be shifted.
Correct. Correct.
And the scope of that content
Just
can consider that box.
Yeah.
area.
Just imagine that every cell is a box.
Yeah.
This is not the case in the flex. Remember that. There is no box in the flex.
Right.
Getting my point? There is no box in the flex.
There is only row,
Ha.
I mean cross axis and
Main axis. But grid has, the rows and column has created a new scope.
Right.
That is the alignment of content inside this box, inside this box, and inside this box. Also, grid says that combination of the boxes can be also one box. In this case, in our case.
Yes, because we define one.
These 6 boxes is a one box.
Correct.
So grid is
That's why that one appear at the end.
Correct. Because the 6 boxes is a one box in this case. And alignment of the content inside the boxes is the task of align items.
Now it is clear.
So just imagine, even if it is showing the 6 separate boxes, but it is a one box for us.
Right.
Right? And this is a individual box, individual, 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 like that. Okay? Fine. So I need to travel. We'll see on the next session.
So when will be the next session?
Tomorrow, Monday.
Okay, you mentioned about weekend batch.